Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Before we begin today's proceedings, I would like to remind everyone that today's meeting is being recorded and live streamed to the public. Kettle Creek Conservation Authority wishes to acknowledge the treaty and traditional lands originally occupied by the Indigenous First Nations peoples of the Anishinaabe, Attawaddaron, and Haudenosaunee Nations. KCCA strives to build meaningful relationships with Indigenous communities and recognizes the importance of respecting these treaties and lands. The board met for the first time this year on January 21st, 2026. At that meeting, an election of officers was conducted with Todd Noble from the municipality of Central Elgin being acclaimed as chair and Sharon McMillan representing the municipality of Thames Centre acclaimed as vice chair. Congratulations to you both. I now turn the meeting over to the chair, Todd Noble.
Good morning. I'd ask members if they have a declaration of pecuniary interest. And seeing none.
I'll do a quick roll call. Lori Baldwin-Sands from the city of St. Thomas.
Here.
Frank Burrs from Middlesex Centre.
Here.
Jim Herbert from the city of St. Thomas.
Here.
Grant Jones representing the township of Southold.
Here.
Sharon McMillan representing Thames Centre.
Here.
Jerry Pribble from the city of London.
Here.
JJ Strybosh from the city of London.
Here.
Sam Trousseau from the city of London.
Here.
And John Wilson from the township of Malahide.
Here.
Chair, we have 10 members present.
Okay, thank you. And my remarks. All right. This morning, as we reflect on another year of accomplishments, I'm also compelled to reflect on the year ahead. There's no question that we are embarking on a year of extraordinary change. Details of the provincial government's announcement regarding the potential consolidation of conservation authorities are still emerging. We have questions about governance, service delivery, and the preservation of local representation. Currently, we don't have a clear picture of what the future holds. What I do know is that change is not new to conservation authorities. Over decades of service, we have adapted to new legislation, found innovative funding sources, and met challenges of climate change. Our ability to adapt to the roots in deep local acknowledged. My goodness. Our ability to adapt is rooted in deep local knowledge. We're fostered to uphold local connections with landowners, community groups, and our member municipalities. Whatever the future holds, our board is determined to approach this moment with openness and the resolve to ensure our watershed remains resilient. Throughout this morning's meeting, you will see evidence of how we are directing resources to ensure decisions are based on the best available science. I believe our staff are consistently looking for efficiencies that come from partnerships and collaboration. Our board, through local representation, ensures that our programs and services are tailored to meet the needs of our community. Local governance fosters trust. It's the reason why Conservation Authority models work. Local representation ensures watershed priorities remain community-driven, and it is at that forefront of everything we do. As we look ahead, I want to thank our board of directors, our staff, and our partners for always championing the local perspective. In Kettle Creek Conservation's report from 1967, it was written that to be effective, local residents must have voice in conservation programs. That sentiment rings true today. Conservation authorities are organized and governed to provide that voice. I'm confident that by continuing to work together, we can navigate this next chapter of change with the same grassroots local perspective that has served us well in the past. Thank the board for their support. I will now call upon Scott Travers and Jim Frederick from Graham Scott Inc. to present the audited 2025 financial statement.
Hello, my name is Scott Travers, and I'm representing the accounting firm Graham Scott Inc. We're the auditors of Kettle Creek Conservation Authority. We perform the audit of the financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2025. Part of our responsibility with the audit is to communicate the audit findings and our auditors report to those charged with governance, the board, and management at the annual general meeting. The report and other pages presented are going to be excerpts of the full set of financial statements. These statements were made available and presented to the board on February 11th, 2026. The full set of the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2025 will be made available on the Kettle Creek Conservation Authority website. As with any audit, the financial statements are the responsibilities of the management of the organization, and our role as auditors is to audit the financial statements, including the notes to the financial statements as presented by management. First page up here is called the management responsibility for financial reporting. So this outlines what I explained, that management is responsible for the financial statements and the reporting systems designed to provide the information that is reliable and accurate, and that management sign off on these to attest to that, which is again is different than our role as auditors. As our role as auditors, we're to provide an audit report on these systems and information. We'll try and do this. Next one. Okay, so as auditors, I said we were responsible for the auditor's report, which you see up here. Okay, so I'll read what our auditor's opinion is, which is in the opinion paragraph there. We have audited the financial statements of Kettle Creek Conservation Authority, which comprise the statement of financial position as at December 31st, 2025, the statement of operations and accumulated surplus, statement of changes in net financial assets, the statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and notes to the financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the organization's financial statements present fairly, in all material respects, the financial position of the organization as of December 31st, 2025, and the results of its operations and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with Canadian public sector accounting standards. Okay, that's what we call an unqualified audit opinion. Okay. This page here is the statement of financial position, which shows the authority's assets and liabilities as of December 31st, 2025, with comparative figures for December 31st, 2024. Broken out into financial assets, financial liabilities, and non-financial assets such as the tangible capital assets, with the total of these assets in excess of liabilities being the accumulated surplus of December 31st, 2025 of $5.9 million. Here. Okay. Final page here is included as a statement of operations for the full year ended December 31st, 2025, with comparative budget and December 31st, 2025 financial figures presented, which outlines the authority's revenue by type and expenditures by segments, showing a net financial statement surplus for the year of $288,000. And again, it should be noted that these pages presented are excerpts of the full set of financial statements, and it should be made available once they're approved here after this meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Ask for a motion to adopt. Lori, Frank.
So moved by Lori, seconded by Frank, that the year 2025 financial statements be adopted as presented. Lori Baldwin Sands.
Yes.
Burrs.
Yes.
Herbert.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
McMillan.
Yes.
Pribble.
Yes.
Drybosh.
Yes.
Trousseau.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Noble.
Yes.
And that motion passes.
Okay. And now I'll call upon Elizabeth to give us the 2025 annual report.
It's my privilege to present the 2025 annual report. When we talk about the work of conservation authorities, we often focus on the numbers and the outcomes. The number of flood messages issued, the number of trees planted, or the number of volunteers. What we talk about less often is why those outcomes are possible. At Kettle Creek Conservation Authority, our effectiveness comes from being rooted in the watershed. Decades of knowledge, sustained environmental monitoring, and relationships-based collaborations allow us to make informed, practical decisions that respond to the unique conditions of the watershed. We understand how water moves through the system, how land use has changed over time, and how communities interact with both. That local understanding is especially critical when conditions change quickly. Through our flood forecasting and warning program, KCCA monitors watershed conditions in real time. Rainfall, stream flow, snowpack, and Lake Erie levels using data systems that have been built and refined over many years. In 2025, we issued 1 combined riverine and shoreline flood message and 7 riverine flood messages, ensuring clear and consistent communication during elevated risk periods. At the same time, the watershed experienced extended low water conditions through the summer and fall, leading to the issuance of a level 1 low water condition in September. Lake Erie levels dropped below the long-term average for the first time since 2012. Behind the scenes, structural monitoring of Dalewood Dam continued, with engineers assessing the condition of the aging infrastructure and staff beginning early groundwork for future rehabilitation, reviewing funding opportunities and updating technical drawings. Being rooted in the watershed also matters when conservation intersects with growth. KCCA issued 52 permits in 2025, 39 minor and 13 major, all within the legislated timelines. In fact, every major permit was issued within 30 days of receiving a complete application, and the average permit was issued in just 2.5 days. These timelines are met not simply through efficiency, but through experience and local knowledge. KCCA also updated its regulation mapping in accordance with Ontario Regulation 4124. Changes include revised wetland buffers and updated watercourse definitions, resulting in a net reduction of regulated lands by 1%. The mapping will be finalized in 2026, providing municipalities and stakeholders with improved tools for information decision-making. One of the most powerful stories in 2025 is how required mitigation was transformed into meaningful restoration. Through development-related compensation tied to industrial expansion in St. Thomas and the widening of Highway 3, KCCA advanced large-scale ecological restoration aligned with watershed priority. Across 51 acres, projects included the planting of more than 25,800 trees, the creation of 3 wetlands, meadow restoration, and managing invasive species. The result is stronger habitat connectivity, improved water quality, greater climate resilience, and tangible gains for species at risk. These aren't short-term projects. KCCA will monitor and maintain these sites for the next 10 years, ensuring that restoration efforts succeed over time and deliver lasting benefits. Environmental monitoring underpins all the work we do. Long-term data allows us to detect change, measure progress, and guide action. In partnership with the City of St. Thomas, KCCA continued long-term surface water monitoring at Lake Margaret, confirming that conditions remain consistent with previous years. Fish sampling through the Ontario Municipal Drain Classification Program documented 10 fish species, including the least darter, Canada's smallest liverwort. KCCA also supported turtle conservation by releasing more than 260 hatchlings. With fewer than 1% surviving to adulthood, these efforts play a meaningful role in supporting species at risk. Local knowledge extends to our tree planting program. In 2025, more than 64,000 native trees and shrubs were planted across the watershed with support from partnerships with Forest Canada, Tree Canada, Fanshawe College, TD Friends of the Environment, municipalities, volunteers, and residents. These trees weren't just planted. The right species were planted on the right places based on soil conditions, site history, and staff's knowledge and expertise. From large-scale block plantings to roadside canopy extensions and community planting days, Each tree represents an investment in long-term watershed health. Invasive species management also continued across 9 priority species on both public and private lands. Funding from the Invasive Species Action Fund supported hands-on management at Kirk Cousins Management Area and the newly acquired Stanley Lyle Grove. Students from Regina Mundi Catholic College played an active role connecting education with stewardship and reinforcing the idea that caring for the watershed is a shared responsibility. Youth engagement remained a priority. Through the Kettle Creek Environmental Youth Corps, local high school students gained hands-on experience in planting, monitoring, and invasive species removal, helping build the next generation of watershed stewards. We also want to help the community lay roots in the watershed. Dalewood and Lake Whitaker conservation areas welcomed more than 24,000 visitors and recorded over 35,000 nights of camping. New lakefront cabins at Lake Whitaker generated strong demand and positive feedback, while infrastructure improvements at Dalewood are positioning the campground for future growth and sustainability. Trail use remained high with 43,598 users. Seasonal staff maintained KCCA's 24 kilometers of trails, ensuring safe and welcoming access to nature. Our education and outreach programs also continue to grow those connections. From medical students discovering the watershed during Discovery Week to learn to fish programs and the Carolinian Forest Festival, thousands of people connected with nature. These experiences build understanding, and understanding builds support for conservation that lasts. Finally, in a year when the future structure of conservation authorities was under public discussion, KCCA's response was grounded in transparency, engagement, and trust. Local relationships and local credibility matter. Community members paid attention because KCCA has been present, consistent, and accountable within this watershed. Being rooted in the watershed isn't just about geography. It's about memory. It's about relationships. It's about knowing that decisions shape conditions decades from now. That is the strength that KCCA brings to the watershed and why local knowledge continues to matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That was good. Motion to accept Elizabeth's report. Sharon and Jim.
So moved by Sharon and seconded by Jim that the 2025 annual report be approved as presented. Lori Baldwin Sands.
Yes.
Burrs.
Yes.
Herbert.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
McMillan.
Yes.
Pribble.
Yes.
Drybosh.
Yes.
Trousseau.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Noble.
Yes.
And that motion passes.
Okay. I'll ask that Betsy McClure come forward for the Clean Water Annual Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Today, I'm going to summarize the successes of the Elgin Clean Water Program in 2025. So just for some of you that may not be as familiar with the program, it was launched in 2012 as a partnership of the 4 Elgin Conservation Authorities. And the program provides technical expertise and financial incentives to farm and non-farm landowners across Elgin County to allow them to implement environmental projects on their properties. And what makes the program successful is its local delivery model, staff working directly with the landowners to design practical projects that will improve water quality and habitat conditions. There is oversight by a locally represented review committee. So a member of Elgin County Council, agricultural representatives, and an Elgin County landowner all oversee the program and review the projects. This ensures oversight and that funding decisions reflect local priorities. Annual funding is provided by Elgin County and the Green Lane Community Trust Fund, and those dollars are consistently leveraged to attract matching funding and landowner investment. So this map just shows the number of projects completed since the program began back in 2012, 368 projects to date. And what's important to note is that these projects aren't isolated efforts. You can see the distribution across the county. And together they create cumulative benefits, improving water quality, strengthening habitat, and increasing resilience to flooding and climate impacts. So a little bit of numbers for you since the program began in 2012. These 368 projects represent nearly 4.5 million in total environmental investment, with just over 1 million of that coming directly from the Elgin Clean Water Program. Every dollar for the program leverages additional investment from landowners, either through cash or in-kind contributions and external funding sources, significantly increasing the overall impact of the program. So for 2025, the program supported 28 projects with total projects costs of just over $450,000. Just over $100,000 of Elgin Clean Water Program funding was provided and leveraged more than $344,000 of landowner contributions and matching funds. And as you can see by the breakdown on the screen, there were a variety of projects implemented, including erosion control, well management, wetland creation, livestock fencing, tallgrass prairie restoration, and cover crops. New in 2025 was the introduction of a maintenance funding category. The new category recognizes that environmental stewardship doesn't end when a project is installed. It provides funding support for repairs and maintenance of previously funded projects, ensuring their long-term function and protecting past investments. So this approach will ensure that the environmental benefits are sustained while maximizing the value of the funds that have already been spent. I'm going to highlight a few of the projects that were undertaken in 2025. This is a tallgrass prairie establishment project. It was 10 acres, a 10-acre agricultural field that was retired along the Lake Erie bluffs. The project improved soil stability and created important habitat, including for species at risk like the eastern meadowlark. We had 2 well decommissioning projects in 2025. One was a dug well that was at the base of a wooded slope in close proximity to the active well on the property. And the other was a 70-year-old well that hadn't been used in more than 40 years due to the water quality. And properly decommissioning these unused or unsafe wells is important to help prevent contamination pathways into our groundwater. Next up was a livestock fencing project. The Elgin Clean Water funds were used to support the portion of the installation of the fencing along the watercourse. A minimum 10-foot setback was maintained, preventing the livestock access and protecting the riparian area while still supporting the agricultural operations of this property. Wetland creation continues to be the most funded project in the program. We had 15 wetland projects created across the county in 2025. A wetland was created in every municipality within the county with the exception of the town of Elmer. And I'm sure you're familiar with the benefits of wetland creation, helping to improve water quality, reducing downstream flooding, supporting biodiversity, and increasing climate resilience, while all making use of marginal agricultural land. Feedback from landowners continues to highlight the value of the program. Landowners consistently note that the Elgin Clean Water Program funding makes projects achievable and that the support of Conservation Authority staff is important from design through implementation. It's the way these projects are a success. This trust and relationship-based delivery model is a key reason that the program continues to perform well. That's the website for any of you that might know, be a landowner yourself, or know of someone that might want to undertake a project. Our first meeting will be in the middle of March this year. So I encourage you to spread the word about the program and the opportunities there are for funding to support landowners.
Thank you, Betsy. Can I get a motion to adopt? JJ? John?
On the motion, Baldwin Sands.
Yes.
Burrs.
Yes.
Herbert.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
McMillan.
Yes.
Pribble.
Yes.
Drybosh.
Yes.
Trousseau.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
And Noble.
Yes.
And that motion passes.
Okay. Next, we have the 2026 levy and budget.
Okay, so the apportionment was previously approved at our January meeting. So this morning we have the budget. The 2026 budget has been presented numerous times at the board level and also communicated out to our member municipalities. Today's motion is a final approval of what we've reviewed, so that the proposed 2026 budget be approved as presented with expenditures of $3,510,678. It is by order of our administration bylaw, a weighted vote this morning. Ask for a mover and a seconder for that.
I'd like to move it.
Okay, Sam? And Jerry. Jerry.
So moved by Sam Trousseau, seconded by Jerry Pribble. On the motion, Sam Trousseau,
Yes.
Jerry Pribble,
Yes.
JJ Strybosh,
Yes.
Baldwin Sands,
Yes.
Herbert,
Yes.
Noble,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
McMillan,
Yes.
Burrs,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
and that motion passes, Mr. Chair, with 100% of the weighted vote.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have reserve policy.
The reserve policy and staff report were forwarded out in the advanced packages. The changes to the reserve policy are relatively minor, just bringing it up to date, as well as bringing up the descriptions of each reserve up to date. There's also a staff recommendation in front of you today that the Forest Festival Reserve be moved to the Kettle Creek Environmental Trust, as well as the remaining funds in the Conservation Lands Management Reserve following the expected transfer for 2026, that those funds be moved to the Kettle Creek Environmental Trust as outlined in the staff report. I'm just looking for a motion today for that.
Okay. Mover, John? Frank?
Moved by John, seconded by Grant. Baldwin Sands,
Yes.
Burrs,
Yes.
Herbert,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
McMillan,
Yes.
Pribble,
Yes.
Strybosh,
Yes.
Trousseau,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Noble,
Yes.
and that motion passes.
Okay. Special recognition.
Yes. So my stuff. At every general meeting, we take time to honor those employees who have reached a significant service milestone. Today, we have one staff member to recognize, Jeff Lawrence. Jeff is celebrating 15 years of service with the authority this year, but that really doesn't tell the complete story. Jeff started with the authority under contract back in 2001, working approximately 1.5 years supervising the Dodd Creek Subwatershed Rehabilitation Project, including helping landowners install watercourse fencing and planting over 240,000 trees. He then pivoted and accepted the position of planning and regulation supervisor, holding that role for 2.5 years before taking a similar position with St. Clair Conservation Authority. He returned to his home watershed in 2011 to his current role as Forestry and Land Supervisor and Elgin County Tree Commissioner. By my count, Jeff's career actually spans almost 20 years at this authority and over 25 years in the CA Collective. Jeff has overseen the planting of close to 1 million trees. And as we have recently learned in reviewing our regulation mapping, he has visited almost all of the rural properties in our watershed. He is a discerning leader. He quietly reflects on complex issues and always brings forward a unique perspective rooted in his years of experience. It's a leadership style that our new staff admire and rely upon every day. Jeff has literally stood up for the acres of forest in this watershed when they didn't have a voice, added to our forest cover, and ensured development had the least impact possible to our natural environment. Please join me in congratulating Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. You didn't want us to say any words.
You didn't want to speak.
That concludes our annual general meeting. Adjournment motion.
Lori,
JJ?
JJ and Lori. I'm assuming everyone's in favor.
Yes.
So we stand adjourned at 10:34.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.